Hey, what's up? This is Atomic Swift. Welcome to another one of my videos. This is a video for, well, if you couldn't tell by looking at it, the Arcade1up Mortal Kombat cabinet. I've been looking for this. I've been waiting for this. I actually ordered it from Walmart. My copy was supposed to come to the store nearest me tomorrow. But I got on the Walmart website and I actually found this cabinet said it was in stock at two different Walmarts. So I went to the Walmart where I ordered mine from. Of course, they didn't have it, even though when I called them, they told me they did. When I checked the website, they did. So then I went over to the other one, said they had it in stock. Of course, nowhere on the shelf. Asked one of their fine employees. He went in the back, found this. I got the last one. And I'll build this, and then we'll continue with my video. And I'm not going to do a build video because if you didn't know, I think I've mentioned in a few videos, I have OCD. So when I build stuff, I double check screws, I double check connections. I mean, it would be the most boring video ever watching me continuously recheck shit. But it helps out though, because that's why in my life I've never lost my wallet, never lost my keys, never lost my phone, never lost anything. So I guess I got that going for me with the OCD, but like I said, you don't want to watch me build anything. When I built my computer, I would have made a video of me putting my computer together, but honestly, putting my computer together, constantly rechecking connections, constantly making sure that my graphics card was seated properly, the CPU was seated properly. I mean, it would have been a 3-hour video, no fucking lie. And I know you're wondering, well, if you got OCD, you know, your computer desk is a fucking mess. And, you know, that's true, but that's a weird thing. My OCD isn't about cleanliness and organization, even though I know everything that's on my computer desk. So when I'm putting shit together, like yesterday, I cleaned the air filter for my dirt bike and my quad. Fucking took me forever because I double checked that I tightened it, double checked that I seated the filter properly. It's fucking annoying, but everything turns out perfect because I constantly double, triple check it. So, yeah, so we'll just stop right there. And then, like I said, I'll continue with this video, talk about this arcade cabinet once I'm done building it. And I got to build my riser as well. So, yeah, see you in a bit. Okay, there it is, the Arcade1up Mortal Kombat cabinet with Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I built that, and I built the arcade riser, and it took me about 1 hour and 34 minutes to put both pieces together, well, both units together, and not bad for somebody that has OCD and double checks screws and triple checks connections, like the ribbon cable to connect the damn monitor. But anyway, let's talk about this cabinet, and let's talk about my history with Mortal Kombat. Okay. So there's my cabinet, Mortal Kombat Arcade1up cabinet on the Arcade1up riser. Now I didn't screw mine to the riser, because I want to be able to take it off, put it on the ground, put it on the riser if I need it. Overall, I mean, it's not going to fall over. Is it the sturdiest thing on a carpet? No, I mean, it's not going to fall over. It's a little wobbly, but I just wanted to show you all the dimensions of the cabinet. Obviously, this isn't where I'm going to keep the cabinet. I'm going to have to figure that out later. This is just where I built it, where I had the most room to build it on carpet in my house. And so this is where I'm just displaying it at for now, for this video. Let me get a behind shot. So it looks like a legitimate little cabinet. Got the Arcade1up right there. And yep, it says Mortal Kombat 2. I really wish they would have went with the Mortal Kombat 3 design, but 2 is good as well. It's much better than the Mortal Kombat 1 cabinet. So that's where you plug in your power cord, and then yeah, it's all plugged into my wall, blah blah blah. So let's talk about this cabinet. Alright, so this is a part of my video where I'm going to talk about my history with the Mortal Kombat game, the original trilogy. Well, 1, 2, 3, and Ultimate MK3. I mean, you know, this cabinet only includes 1, 2, and Ultimate 3, which is the better choice. MK3 had bugs, and you know, Ultimate has more, added a few new characters and stuff, new stages. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about my history with Mortal Kombat. Okay, so obviously in this video, the first Mortal Kombat game I'm going to talk about, as you can see on the screen back here, is the original Mortal Kombat. Now, I moved to Las Vegas in 1992. Can't remember how old I was. I was like 10 or 11, something like that. And I wasn't really into video games. You know, I had an NES, and my parents had just gotten divorced not too long before that, so my brothers had my NES. They lived with my mom. I lived with my mom for a little while after the divorce, and then I got kicked out, sent to live with my dad. So my brothers had the Nintendo. So I didn't have any video game consoles when I went to live with my dad. The only gaming I did, and it was pretty rare until I really got into computers like you see me now, if you've watched any of my videos, I would play every once in a while on the internet. They had like some maze game on Prodigy or something like that. Or, you know, the little Windows 3.1 games, because my first computer was a 486 Packard Bell. And I didn't see Mortal Kombat in the arcade. I didn't read video game magazines. Like I said, I really was not into video games. I was more going outside, riding dirt bikes with my friends, skateboarding, bike riding, playing basketball, stuff like that. And I remember my friends Trent and Doug, they were brothers, Trent and Doug Schuler. So if you're watching this video and your name's Trent or Doug Schuler, hey, what's up, man? And, you know, I talked to Trent a few years back. But anyway, they had a Sega Genesis, which I'd never played a Sega Genesis. And they were like, you know, I think we were playing or something outside, and they're like, hey, do you want to come over to our house? We just got Mortal Kombat. And I'm like, Mortal Kombat? What the hell is that? I don't know what Mortal Kombat is. So I went over to their house, and they had Mortal Kombat on the Sega Genesis. You know, and like I said, I'd moved there in 92, and Mortal Kombat, the first one, I believe, came out in 92. And, I mean, it was just amazing. Oh, I think the shit froze, did it? Never mind. And, there we go. And it was just amazing to see Mortal Kombat. Like I said, I had never played a Sega Genesis. Never, I don't even think I ever saw one. Maybe in like a Toys R Us catalog or something like that, but like I said, I wasn't into video games. So I went over to my friend's house, Trent and Doug, and we played Mortal Kombat. Stayed the night at their house, you know, Friday night, Saturday night. We stayed up all night playing Mortal Kombat. And I remember while we were playing, somebody's like, hey, you should enter the blood code. I'm like, blood code? What is that? You know, me and Trent were just playing you know, no blood, nothing. And I believe it was Doug came in, and he's like, did you guys put in the Mortal Kombat blood code? And we're like, what the hell is the blood code? Like, this game's already cool. Like, and, you know, we hadn't even seen fatalities yet. We're just like, hey, the fighting's pretty good. And you never forget the blood code. ABACABB on the Sega Genesis. Blow my mind. I mean, you know, we're seeing big uppercuts. We're seeing blood. We're seeing fatalities. I mean, you're seeing everything. And that's what got me hooked on video games, really. Honestly, it was Mortal Kombat. I remember me and my dad went to Best Buy for some reason. I can't remember what it was for. And they had Mortal Kombat 1 on PC, floppy disks, little 3.5-inch floppy disks. I want to say it was like 3 or 4 disks. And I was like, please, Dad, can I have Mortal Kombat, please? And he's like, yeah, you know, got me Mortal Kombat, went home, installed it, and I was playing that shit every day. My friends were coming over, you know, because the PC one was just amazing. And, you know, I'd seen it in the arcade at that point, shortly after I, you know, got it for PC. And it was just amazing because, you know, they'd have a Mortal Kombat arcade machine in like a 7-Eleven, a Green Valley Grocery here in Las Vegas, I think Circle K. And here I am playing it in my living room on my computer, and my friends are coming over because, you know, my version on PC is better than the Genesis version. Graphics are better, character sprites are bigger, everything was better. It's just amazing. Amazing. And like I said, that's when I didn't go outside as much anymore. was just Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat. I didn't even play with the joypad Mortal Kombat on my PC. I was playing with the keyboard, the arrow keys. High punch was 7, low punch was 1, high kick was 9, low kick was 3, block was 5. Bam, I'm sitting there playing the shit with a keyboard. Didn't even have a controller, didn't want one, didn't care. I played it with keyboard. It's just an amazing game. I mean, is this the game I'm going to be playing the most on this cabinet? No, not Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Probably Ultimate, but just amazing game. Like I said, I would sit there forever. And I remember whenever you started Mortal Kombat on the PC, the floppy disk version. I'm not sure if the CD version was the same, because when I got it, I think it was only out on floppy. But it was funny because you'd start the game in DOS, and then it would come up and it would say, as like a, to prevent piracy, it would say, go to your manual, enter the 5th word, 3rd letter down. And you had to type that word in. If you didn't get it, if you typed it wrong, if it was a wrong word, you couldn't play the game. That was their form of copy protection. That was back before I even knew you could copy games. That was back in '92. Like I said, I had a 486, 33 megahertz Packard Bell PC. Not even a Pentium, just Packard Bell, Intel 486. SX 33 megahertz processor. I want to say that like an 80 meg hard drive, 4 megs of RAM. It was insane. And that was my introduction. That was what got me hooked on Mortal Kombat 1. Alright, and the next game we're going to talk about, Mortal Kombat 2. The Mortal Kombat that, even blew my mind more than 1. Okay, now I was playing 1, like I said, I played on a PC, didn't have a Genesis, didn't have an NES, nothing. I was playing PC back then, and there were no, there might have been video game magazines, I don't remember reading one, and I hadn't seen an arcade, Mortal Kombat 2 arcade machine. Me and my dad had been to the gas station, stores, still seeing Mortal Kombat 1. And I don't remember exactly what year it was. I don't remember what year Mortal Kombat 2 came out. Maybe it was like 93 or 94. And like I said, I live in Las Vegas, if you didn't know that, watching my previous videos. And anytime my aunts, uncles, grandparents came from out of town, they would want to go gambling with my parents on the strip here in Las Vegas where all the casinos are. And they would take me along and then give me like 20, 25 bucks to go play in the arcade. So I go and I play in the arcade, and I'm playing a few games, and I go into this section of the arcade, and here I saw this. I saw Raiden on the side, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? Like, oh my god. And I go over and it's playing this intro, and I'm like, Mortal Kombat 2? What? And I remember I walked up to the machine, and for some reason there were no kids around it. Like, it was like late at night. Most kids were probably sleeping or something. I don't remember, but I remember I just walked up to the machine and there were nobody around. It was me in the arcade. There's other kids playing other games, but nobody was playing Mortal Kombat 2. And it had to have been like brand new. This machine was just pristine. And I walk up and it's playing, the intro stuff right here. And I didn't even put money in right away. I just sat and I watched. And I'm paying attention to the story, them talking about, Shang Tsung failing and Shao Kahn coming, and it just, I know I said it in the first video, but I was just like, boom, like, what? No more Shang Tsung, he's not the boss, it's Shao Kahn. Who the fuck is this cool guy wearing a skull mask? Like, holy shit, Shao Kahn. And I remember I played it and I was just like, wow, it was amazing. And, I didn't know any moves, I didn't know any fatalities, none of that stuff. I'm learning as I go. I played as Scorpion, I think, first, because he was my favorite character from the first one. He was either him or Sub-Zero, and I'm playing as Scorpion. And as you start going up the tier, Mortal Kombat is infamous for their cheating ass fucking CPU. First 2 matches will be somewhat easy. You get the third guy and he's a cheating motherfucker. You got to uppercut him. He throws you, grabs you, fucking. You can't do anything. They're doing, special moves, just kicking your ass, because they're going to kick your ass, you have to use a continue. To use a continue, you have to put coins in the fucking machine. Mortal Kombat is notorious for that from part 1, 2, 3, Ultimate. Even 4 was that way. And I remember, I was playing, I was like, this is so amazing, and I'm using my strategy of the first Mortal Kombat, uppercuts, kicks, You know, I believe, the spear was the same way in 2. So I'm kicking ass. First guy kick his ass. Second guy kick his ass. Don't know his fatalities. Don't know fatalities. And get to the third guy, completely fucking owns me. And it was on the pit level. And he kicks my ass. And when I play Mortal Kombat, I'm like, dude, if the computer's going to cheat and kick my ass, they better do a fucking fatality. That's what I always used to say when I played part 1. And he kicked my ass. I believe it was Kung Lao. Kicked my fucking ass. And I'm like, oh, dude, you better do a fatality. I want to see a fatality. And he did the pit fatality. And, you know, that's when, you know, the pit in part 2 is just a flat cement. So boom, uppercut. I fly off, go down into the pit, and boom, splat on the ground. And I'm just like, wow. So, like, as soon as I went home, I'm like, dude, fucking Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat 2. I'm playing Mortal Kombat 1 on my PC, and then I'm wishing that I had 2. Wishing I had 2. And I want to say it was like a few weeks later, we were heading somewhere, and I think I'd seen in like a Best Buy flyer that Mortal Kombat 2 was coming out on PC. And we're going out to eat or something. I was like, Dad, please, 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 can we stop by Best Buy? I got to see if they have Mortal Kombat 2. I got to see. Go there. It was out. It was out on PC. And fucking they were out. They're like, take a rain check. I'm like, oh shit. Took a rain check. I think they called me like a week later or something like that. And my dad took me down to pick up Mortal Kombat 2, and I would just sit and play that. I mean, that CD was awesome. It had the Mortal Kombat Dragon logo on the CD. I still remember the box. You flip the box over, and it said, you know, the Ultimate Arcade Translation. And, you know, the game, from what I remember playing Mortal Kombat 2 in the arcade, which I believe it was at the Luxor when I first saw that cabinet, and then, you know, it was exactly the same. And then I would see the arcade machine in like a gas station in my house shortly after that. And it was like the exact game I was playing, but I was playing it at home, and it was so awesome. And I was still using the keyboard. Still using the keyboard to play Mortal Kombat. And it was just awesome. My friends would come over. We'd play Mortal Kombat 2. And, you know, they would have it on Sega Genesis. I don't even think I ever played on Sega Genesis, but they would always talk about playing it on there. And they'd come over to my house and they're like, oh, dude, this version is so awesome. You know, no blood code required on PC. For one, you know, you didn't need ABAC, ABB, and part 2, of course, didn't have a blood code, but, you know, the game was just so awesome on PC, the soundtrack, everything, I loved it to death. I used to sit there for hours, even just playing by myself. Just, you know, learning the strategy of the CPU, playing, beating the game. I mean, it was hard as fuck because the computer cheated, especially Shao Kahn. Kintaro's a cheating fuck. Shao Kahn is, oh god, cheating ass motherfucker. And he's even more of a cheater in 3, but 2, god damn. But yeah, I just remember playing, and then that was when I started to get into video game magazines. 2 of my buddies would have these magazines, and they'd let me borrow them, and I'd just sit there and read, you know, strategy guides for Mortal Kombat. You know, the internet wasn't that big really back then. We had Prodigy Internet, but for the internet, you know, you had to, it was like paid by the minute still, I believe. So like I couldn't be on the internet all day. My dad would like, my computer was in the living room, and my dad would have to sign me in, and then, you know, I'd have to sit in the living room. So look, back then you couldn't even look at porn, you know. My dad's like, you know, 10 feet away, 20 feet, you know, 20 feet away on the couch. So, you know, I couldn't just sit there all day and, you know, read stories from Mortal Kombat. So I got these video game magazines. My friend Joey, he would have video game magazines. We'd be talking about Mortal Kombat, going through these magazines. And it was just so awesome. And that's, you know, that's my initial memories of Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, it was just perfect, amazing to play. And, you know, up until that point, that was the best Mortal Kombat to me. I thought that that was going to be the best Mortal Kombat ever. You know, my favorite of all time. And then I was wrong. Okay. And of course, you know, to wrap up my video with the last story, my introduction, not just to Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, but Mortal Kombat 3. So, like I said, me and my buddies, you know, we were all caught up with playing Mortal Kombat 2, and it was awesome. And, you know, I just remember playing for hours and hours. We're talking about Mortal Kombat, and, you know, there's all these rumors, oh my god, Mortal Kombat 2 has, you know, fagalities and nudalities, and the girl can be nude, and, you know, all these rumors coming out. And, you know, I'm eating it all up because, you know, I'm, what, 12, 13, 14 years old, somewhere around there at the time. And it was just amazing, you know, Mortal Kombat, every day at school, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat. And That, you know, that's all we would talk about. And I remember reading Electronic Gaming Monthly, and they're like, Mortal Kombat 3. Mortal Kombat 3. I'm like, oh my God. And, you know, I see it, and I see Sub-Zero, you know, the initial screenshot showed Sub-Zero with no mask. And I'm like, oh, that's lame. He's a damn ninja. Like, what the hell, man? And let me hit this here, get some stuff going here. Okay, so like I said, we were reading video game magazines, and everybody's talking about Mortal Kombat 3, and of course rumors about stuff that's going to be in Mortal Kombat 3, and it's screenshots of some of the stages started to leak, and I'm like, oh my God, Mortal Kombat 3. And like I said, this is Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on this cabinet, but you know, I'm going to get into Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. So, you know, me and my buddies were talking about Mortal Kombat. I believe I was in like the 8th grade, and you know, we're like, oh, you know, I don't think there was like a set date for Mortal Kombat 3 to come out in the arcade. And so we were talking about it, and at the end of the year here, with the old Wet n Wild water park they used to have on the Strip here in Las Vegas, at the end of the year, you could buy a special wristband from your school, and that would get you access to the park on like a certain day when all the schools go to the park, and then the park closes at 8, but everybody that has that school wristband can stay till midnight. And I'm just like, you know, I asked my dad, I'm like, please, you know, I want to go to Wet n Wild with my friends. And, you know, my dad's like, okay, you know, gives me the money. I get a wristband. Me and my 2 buddies end up going. His dad gives us a ride there. I can't remember what day it was on. But we get to Wet n Wild, and we're like so hyped up. I don't think I'd been to a water park before that I can remember. And we go to Wet n Wild. You know, we go and we get a locker and put all our stuff in the locker, get changed to go swimming, and you know, we're just walking around looking at stuff, and we walk past, and Wet n Wild has an arcade, and I'm like, the hell, like, oh, an arcade, wow, that's cool. This place is a water park and an arcade, like, that's so awesome. And I remember we walked into the arcade. It didn't have any. My dogs are going crazy. But anyway, so I'm like, so let me get back to my story. So anyway, the arcade didn't have doors. It was just like an open thing, so you'd walk past and you'd see all these arcade machines. And there's an arcade machine right in the front, and I couldn't see what it was. There's just kids all crowded around it. Everybody's just going nuts. Like, you know, 2 guys, you know, are up there playing that we could see, but I couldn't see the machine. And everybody's just in there watching and going insane, like making noise. Oh, wow, wow, wow. And I'm like, what the hell? So me and my friends push into the arcade, and as we push in, you know, people kind of like, it was almost like we walked in, and as we walked in and started to try to get close to the machine to like see what it is, people just move, and people just moved away. And then we could see the 2 guys playing, and I saw the marquee, Mortal Kombat 3. And I'm like, what the fuck? Mortal Kombat 3 is out! Oh my God, and we're just standing there watching. These dudes are just kicking each other's asses, and they're doing, and you know, they're just, the music is going crazy, and it's loud as shit, and like the soundtrack was awesome, and I'm like, oh my God, Mortal Kombat 3, it's fucking out. This is so awesome. So, you know, we watched a few guys play. I don't even remember if anybody did any fatalities at that time, because I don't even remember seeing any, but I'm just like, oh my God, Mortal Kombat 3. I'm like, dude, we gotta go get some money and put some money down, you know, because you'd put quarters on the part of the machine right here, well, like up here, to signify that, you know, you're next. So, you know, we get in line with the other guys, and, you know, we wait for our turn. And I play Mortal Kombat 3, and I'm like, man, those, you know, Mortal Kombat 2 kind of look like cartoonish digitized characters. Mortal Kombat 3, I'm just like, oh my God, those guys look real. Like, look at this. And, you know, like I said, this stage obviously isn't in Mortal Kombat 3. This is Hell from Ultimate MK3. And so, you know, we played Mortal Kombat 3 for a while in the arcade, you know, each had a few turns, and then we're like, you know, let's go play, you know, let's go on the water slides. Went on the water slides, and, you know, had an awesome day. It's hot as fuck outside, but, you know, we're in the water. We didn't even care. And we're going on all these rides. I'm hanging out with my buddies, and I'm just like, man, you know, what an awesome day. And I got to see Mortal Kombat 3, like, holy shit, man. And so I remember, you know, we got home from Wet n Wild, and I'm like, oh my God, Mortal Kombat 3's out. And I remember when I went to sleep that night, I'm just thinking, I think my friends might have stayed the night at my house or something. I'm like, oh my God, Mortal Kombat 3. It's got to be coming out soon. It's got to be coming out soon. But you know, the internet's not like it is now where you could just go to Google and type, when does Mortal Kombat 3 come out? No, you couldn't do that. Yeah, there was no Google. I don't even think there was Yahoo. I don't remember what a search engine was. I just don't. Like now, you know, I'm on the internet every single fucking day. Back then, I don't really remember being on the internet that much. And I remember it was quite a bit of time after that. And, you know, so Mortal Kombat came out on the Super Nintendo, and I didn't have a Super Nintendo. One of my buddies had a Super Nintendo, and he's like, dude, you know, I borrowed Mortal Kombat 3 from this girl at school, and, you know, we're going to go over to my house and play it. We go over and play it. You know, it doesn't look as good as the arcade. The character sprites are a little fuzzier in the face, and, you know, the characters aren't as large on the screen as in the arcade, obviously, because it's Super Nintendo. Like I said, I still at that point didn't have any console. I just had my PC. And I'm just like, oh, man, you know, it's going to be coming out on PC. I just have to wait. You know, because back then, like I said, you couldn't just look on the internet and it would show you a list of release dates. There was nothing like that. And so Mortal Kombat 3 came out on PC. I don't even remember when. I think I just like saw it in like a Best Buy flyer. My dad took me down to get it, and we went and got, you know, picked up Mortal Kombat 3. It was on a CD-ROM, and it was a really cool CD-ROM because you could put it into a stereo or even use the audio player software on your computer and listen to the soundtrack for the game, which I hadn't seen a game that had done that. You know, I wasn't really into like adventure games on a PC. I had like Doom 2, Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, and now I have Mortal Kombat 3. And so, you know, I installed install the game, go to run it, and it goes, this game requires 8 megs of RAM. I only had fucking 4, and RAM back then was kind of expensive. So I can't even remember how much it was, but my dad was just like, oh no, you don't need more RAM, and the game would never run. You know, I would always try to start the game and it'd fucking tell me that every time. This game requires at least 8 megs of RAM, which 8 megs is nothing. I have 32 gigs of RAM on my PC now, but I remember 8 gigs of RAM to run it would tell you in DOS, and I'm like, fuck. But I would still try it every now and then, praying that shit would work. Never fucking worked, of course. So Christmas of that year came around, and I was like, fuck it, man. You know, I didn't have a job or anything. I got an allowance, but I don't know. It never, you know, I was so busy doing other stuff, like playing Mortal Kombat with my friends and stuff. I never thought of saving up my own allowance to buy that other 4 meg stick of RAM to play Mortal Kombat 3. So when Christmas rolled around, I asked for Super Nintendo, and I wanted Mortal Kombat 3, and I wanted Revolution X, and I wanted WrestleMania the arcade game. Christmas came, I got all that, Mortal Kombat 3, and you know, I'm playing Mortal Kombat 3, and it was just awesome. I mean, it wasn't the same as the arcade, but it was still a good translation on the Super Nintendo. And it wasn't too long after that, for some reason, my dad just went to the store and got like another 4 meg stick of RAM. So then I'm playing on PC. But you know, all my friends still mainly played on Super Nintendo. So I would play on my PC at home by myself. And then when my friends would come over, you know, I didn't have any joysticks, so they'd have to use a keyboard. And I still didn't have a control pad. Isn't that weird? I still played the game with my keyboard. So we would play the Super Nintendo version, and then and then I would play the PC one by myself, because the PC graphics, you know, it was basically a direct translation of the arcade. And then not too long after I got the Super Nintendo Mortal Kombat 3, Midway released, well, at first they announced Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and I'm like, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, like, wow, what is that? Like, you know, and you know, the gas station near my house had Mortal Kombat 3, but hadn't seen Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 anywhere. And we went to, it was another thing of, we went to an arcade, you know, an arcade on the strip. I want to say it was GameWorks at MGM. Same thing, my aunt and uncle came from out of town, and we go to, you know, I think they wanted to gamble at MGM or something. We went to GameWorks, and my dad would just, you know, they would just give me, you know, 20, 30 bucks, just ditch me in an arcade. And they had Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and I played it, and it was awesome. You know, I mean, it's kind of more of the same, but, you know, with more characters, more stages, and, you know, they got some of the bugs out. I never myself encountered really any big bugs, but. And, you know, I just remember Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, and it was just, wow, another Mortal Kombat. And I asked my dad for Christmas, I'm like, hey, you know, can you, what I want is, you know, I think it was like my birthday or something like that. Or maybe it was Christmas, I don't remember. But anyway, I'm like, you know, I want Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. And Christmas or my birthday, whatever came, and he sent my stepmom out, and she accidentally got me the same Mortal Kombat 3. The wrong game, Mortal Kombat 3, which I already had. So I'm like, oh, that's a bummer. So like a few days later, she like took it to the store, exchange it, and we'd sit there and play. Me and my friends would play Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 on Super Nintendo, and I always remember the game-breaking glitch that fucking game had. So with the size limitation of a cartridge for Super Nintendo, I guess to pack all of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 into an SNES cartridge, they had to remove Shiva. Now, if you played tournament mode in Mortal Kombat on the consoles, you know, you'd pick, I think, like 8 people, so it was like an 8-on-8 type thing, I think that was the tournament mode. I don't remember. But if you did random select up and start, you could randomly select, and the computer would just pick your whole chain. Now, it would pick Shiva, but Shiva's not in the fucking game. So you'd play, you know, so if it picks Shiva in your whole chain, which odds are it does. Almost every time I did it, it fucking picked Shiva. So, you know, tournament mode random select is fucking broken. And I remember you'd play, and then when it got to Shiva, at the end of the match, the fucking cartridge would freeze. Shiva would never appear on screen. When it would get to Shiva, it would just show no person there. You could do her moves, and, you know, everything would be fine. You couldn't see the Shiva character. And then at the end of the match, the fucking cartridge would freeze, and the game would crash. And, you know, that was it. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, I don't think ever came out on PC. The next Mortal Kombat that came out on PC was Mortal Kombat Trilogy. But by then, I was already heavy into console gaming. I wasn't playing fighting games like Mortal Kombat on my PC anymore. And if I remember correctly, I think it was because, you know, most of my friends didn't really play Mortal Kombat on PC. I did, and I used the keyboard, and, you know, they'd come over, and like I said, we'd have to use controllers, so we play Super Nintendo. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 did not come out on PC, so I just got it on Super Nintendo. And then, you know, then from Super Nintendo went to Nintendo 64 and Mortal Kombat Trilogy on Nintendo 64. And PC was not my fighting game system of choice anymore. That's when I really heavily got into consoles with Super Nintendo, and then Super Nintendo, and then I upgraded to Nintendo 64, and then, you know, from Nintendo 64 to Dreamcast to Xbox, and then Dreamcast, let's see. Yeah, because I had a Nintendo 64, then my brothers got a PlayStation, so when they'd come up for Christmas, you know, we played Nintendo 64, they bring their PlayStation, I get to play it that way, and then from my N64, I upgraded to Sega Dreamcast, and Dreamcast sadly fucked us all, discontinued one of the greatest consoles that was ever invented, and I mean, one of the crappiest Mortal Kombats was on there. Mortal Kombat Gold was a buggy piece of shit. And from what was it? So from Dreamcast, and I went to original Xbox, and I remember playing the Mortal Kombat reboots on the original Xbox when they rebooted with Deadly Alliance and Mortal Kombat Deception, and then, like I said, I was just playing all Mortal Kombats on console, which I now do to this day. I play Mortal Kombat 11 on my Xbox One X, and yep. So, but yeah, so. I mean, sorry to ramble. I mean, I hope you enjoyed my story. I mean, it's just what I remember of Mortal Kombat. I like the newer Mortal Kombats, but when it comes down to it, I prefer the original trilogy, honestly. You know, because it's just, I don't know, it's, you know, one-on-one, no 3D, no, you know, no crypt, no loot box type shit. None of that. It was just jump in and play. And that's all it was. That's what we do on Super Nintendo and 64. You just jump in and play. You didn't have to worry about the crypt and loot boxes and all this other shit and DLC. There was no such thing as DLC on the older consoles. So maybe that's why, you know, one of the reasons why Mortal Kombat will always have a special place in my heart. I thank Ed Boon, John Tobias for making Mortal Kombat, Dan Ford and the sound guy. I mean all the actors. Sal DeVita. God, I'm probably missing out on. Anybody that's ever worked in a Mortal Kombat game, thank you so much. I love Mortal Kombat. Like I said, especially these older ones. They had such a place in my childhood playing Mortal Kombat with my brothers. When they'd come up for like Christmas or summer, we'd go. My dad would take us to an arcade, and I'd just do these moves on Mortal Kombat on the arcade machine. I was never a pro on the arcade machine. I could hold my own, but it wasn't like playing on a console where I was king. I owned the shit out of my brothers. On the console versions of the Mortal Kombat games, we wouldn't go head to head in the arcade. We would just take turns playing. And I remember just playing Mortal Kombat with my brothers, especially on Super Nintendo. And yeah, that's why I love Mortal Kombat so much. Thank you to everybody who's created Mortal Kombat. Anybody from the Mortal Kombat team, anybody who's ever worked on the Mortal Kombat team. I'm really happy that WB was able to get the Mortal Kombat, well, most of the Mortal Kombat guys, and bring them over to start NetherRealm. I mean, the Mortal Kombat games would not be the same without those guys, namely Ed Boon. And yeah, that's why Mortal Kombat means so much to me. It's one of my favorite game series of all time. It's my favorite fighting game series of all time. There is no fighting game to me that beats Mortal Kombat. I mean, I like Street Fighter. Never put as much time into Street Fighter. Never bought a Street Fighter game at launch. Bought so many Mortal Kombat games at launch, right when they come out. Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat. And, that's why I bought this cabinet. This is the only Arcade1up cabinet I want that's out right now. I don't want Final Fight. Never got into Final Fight. Don't care about the Street Fighter cabinet. Don't care about Galaga, Pac-Man, all that other shit. The only other cabinet that interests me, and it's not really a fighting game like this, is if they release a cabinet that has Ninja Turtles the arcade game, Simpsons arcade game, and like X-Men the arcade game. I would get that cabinet. But other than that, when fighting games, this cabinet right here. And I love it so much. I really do. And yeah, we're going to get towards the end of my video because I rambled. Hopefully you enjoyed my story. But like I said, this is the Arcade1up Mortal Kombat 2 cabinet. And I love it. I do. I haven't really played it that much. I'm going to give it a big hug right here because I love it. I mean, it's cool. And, I know most people be like, well, it's not the same as the arcade. Yes, I know it's not. It's as close as you're going to get having all three games in one cabinet. If you've watched my previous videos, I have one arcade cabinet downstairs in my kitchen, NFL Blitz 2000 Gold. And if you've never owned an arcade machine or seen one in a house, those machines take up a lot of space. I would want all three Mortal Kombats. That would take up a lot of room. I mean, the Blitz one takes up a lot of room as it is. So this is the best bet right here, rather than having a Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and an ultimate big-ass machine. This is the next best thing, and it's awesome. I played a little bit. I mean, I don't have to play it a lot to talk about how good it is. I mean, it looks just like a miniaturized cabinet. I mean, they did an excellent job. I've looked at some of the other cabinets. They have a few on display inside Walmart, and I don't know. This is the best looking one to me. It's got the glossy protector. I noticed the one they have on display at Walmart, I think it's Galaga, does not have the glossy protector. So you know what's going to happen. Having your wrist on here is going to wear the paint off. So that's cool. They included the protector. The speaker sounds really awesome. And yeah, so like I said, once again, I'm rambling. Like I said, this is the best bet for me to have three games in one in this cabinet, and it's nice and small. I can have it downstairs. I could bring it up here and play it. I could put it in my computer room. I can just pick it up. I mean, it's not heavy. See, I picked up the damn cabinet. I don't know, 50 pounds? Who knows? But yeah, so thank you. What was once Midway, legendary studio, went out of business sadly. Luckily, there's now NetherRealm to carry on the Mortal Kombat. And it's got, a bunch of the original guys, which is amazing. Ed Boon, you're amazing. Huge fan. Huge fan. And thank you, Arcade1up, for listening to the fans, which most companies don't do. You listen to the fans, and this is the most requested Arcade1up cabinet. It took me a while to pre-order this because it just kept getting sold out online. And mine is not supposed to be here till tomorrow, but I have this weird thing where if I buy something, I have to have it as soon as possible. So I went down to another Walmart that said they had it in stock, and I found this and then canceled my pre-order. So I won't be going to pick that up tomorrow because I have the game already, and I couldn't be happier. Like I said, thank you Arcade1up for listening to your fans, and you know, just get that X-Men the arcade game, Simpsons arcade game 4-player, and Ninja Turtles the arcade game, and I will be very happy. But until then, I'll be busy playing Mortal Kombat. And sorry about the rambling. I hope you enjoyed my video. Hopefully my story entertained you. And yeah, so that's my video. Thanks for likes, comments. Thanks for subscribing. I have almost 180 subscribers, almost 100,000 views across my whole channel, and plenty of more content. I've got plenty of more ideas in my head. Lots of backlogged videos that I have on my computer that I can post, and you know, more NVIDIA surround videos, all this stuff. And you know, there's plenty more games coming out that I'm going to post videos about. And yep, so like I said, thanks for watching my video, and as always, bye for now.